Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a group from North Carolina works to make sure our region continues to get the donations we need for flood recovery. And a bill to lower Kentucky's income tax makes some progress in the state capitol.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. It is Thursday. I'm Dakota Makra. It's almost 5 o'clock. Good morning to you. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. And Brandon, before you get into it, I got a little short story to tell you.
Okay.
So usually I either check the weather app or I ask Alexa, what's the weather going to be? Well, this morning I asked her, I was like, hey, what's the weather outside right now? She said 61 degrees.
She's not wrong.
I was like, wow.
It's warm this morning.
Well, then my car said 47. So I was like, what is the truth here?
Well, here's the thing. Some of the airport sensors, where they're up a little higher, it's always a little bit warmer up there. But I'm telling you, it's 40s, 50s, and 60s out there this morning. It is getting mild. We had our overnight low right around midnight. Now temperatures are actually going up. But we are dealing with some rain this morning on live pinpoint Doppler radar. And you can see it coming in waves out there. No storms today. Some waves of rain. But again, it is going to be windy. That is the big weather story for today, but you can see a little bit of rain out toward Lake Cumberland at the moment, so we're kind of keeping an eye on that, and we will definitely keep you posted on that as we get a little deeper in. So temperatures this morning, as we said, 40s in Southwest Virginia, 50s and 60s. There's not a whole lot of 50s left over there. You've got 64, the warmest spots in Irvin, Somerset, Monticello and Manchester, 60 in Prestonsburg, 61 in Hazard, 60 in Harlan, 63 in Williamsburg, 48 in Jacksboro, Jonesville, Clintwood, 47 in Ashland, and 42 in Grundy. Everybody closer to 60, and right here is why. Winds already cranking, 20-mile-an-hour wind out of the south and southwest in Monticello, 15 London and Williamsburg, 14 Prestonsburg, 17 Wise. These are actual wind speeds, 17 in Somerset. And when you factor in this gust, or in the gust, 24 over at Wise, 26 in Monticello and Somerset, and 28 in London. That wind is getting ready to crank in here. Scattered showers will be around this morning, and we'll see windy conditions all day, but the forecast high has went up again, 69. Somebody may hit 70 today. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, flood recovery is still expected to take years here in our region. Many have asked the question, what happens now that many disaster relief groups are gone? Well, one group out of North Carolina is doing its part to ensure Eastern Kentucky is not forgotten. Our Olivia Calfee caught up with the group.
During a time when hope seemed hard to find, Eastern Kentuckians saw many people rise to the occasion.
Local volunteers and volunteers from Texas, from Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, North Carolina.
Over the past 6 months, the mountains have had hundreds of relief groups from across the country come in to help, but now very few remain, except one organization known as Rise Disaster Relief and Recovery. They still have their boots on the ground.
The focus is always very big, very extensive at the beginning of a storm, when the storm hits. But after 2-3 months, that support wanes, and then the people are left holding the bag, people that cannot afford to do anything.
Rise volunteers choosing to weather the storm, returning again and again to continue helping Eastern Kentucky.
We're just constantly working, and right now, as Joe said, we're in the recovery process where we're trying to get people back in to home, because I can't imagine, especially the elderly and the children, you know, how unstable it is.
Harvey is a Breathitt County native and connected with Rise after the flood, saying she sees the need for help and knows Rise will not let Eastern Kentucky be forgotten.
There's people that still care, and that's the key right there. It's still devastation everywhere. We have got to get more volunteers. We need donations so bad.
Volunteers like Joe, not from Kentucky, but sticking around because he still sees a heartbreaking amount of devastation.
No matter how strong you think you are, you do break down.
Completely captivated and driven to help Eastern Kentuckians.
We're touched by the people that are here, that are in dire need. The other day, I caught myself telling my wife I'm home when I got here, because that's the way it feels.
That was Olivia Calfee reporting. Harvey says Rise is still getting constant calls from people who still need help. She added donations are vital during this time. Anything from food, building materials, money, and even more boots on the ground. If you'd like to help, you can find more information on WYMT.com. Well, the City of Hazard and Perry County have more than $41 million worth of grants approved. But before they can get that money, well, they have to go through processes like paperwork and an environmental review. Hazard Mayor Happy Mobilini says he is happy about the grants and they are getting ready to start on a major project that's been in the works for years.
We think within the next month we'll go out to bid, and that will be amazing. That'll give us another 1 million gallons of storage, because the way our water system works, everything starts at the Liberty Street tank. It's a 2 million gallon now, so if we can make it up to 3 million, that gives us more storage.
Well, the mayor says they expect to start all of their projects within the next 3 to 4 years using that grant money. A bill to lower Kentucky's income tax advanced at the state capitol yesterday. The issue already passed the House. The Senate easily passed the additional 0.5% cut. The goal is to eventually do away with Kentucky's income tax. Part of that revenue is being offset by new sales and service taxes. However, opponents say for every 1% cut you reduce, $1 billion in state revenue.
We don't have huge tourist bases like Tennessee, Nevada, and Florida, and we don't have oil and gas like Texas, Alaska, and Wyoming.
Governor Andy Beshear is expected to veto the legislation, but Republicans have enough members to override that in both chambers. Well, there is also a new push to eliminate the sales tax on feminine hygiene products. Well, House Bill 142 is sponsored by Louisville Representative Lisa Wilner. It is not the first time this type of legislation has come up, but it has failed in the past. Well, the representative says a group of students raised the issue, questioning why products like condoms are not taxed, but yet feminine products are.
I think when legislators hear directly from students, that has an impact. I think we can't underestimate the importance of student voice and the power that students can have to influence change. And I think that's true for our legislators across the board.
She says with bipartisan support, she is hoping this year the bill will be able to move forward. Well, thank you so much for getting your Thursday morning started with the Sierra Mountain News this morning. When we come back, a new study suggests dust from the moon could help us slow down climate change on Earth. We'll explain how when we come back.
And it's shaping up to be a windy day across our region with some rain chances moving through, at least this morning and early this afternoon. I'll track them out for you in about 3 minutes.